and permission.
Senator Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted your indulgence to raise maybe one or two concerns on the statement that has been laid by the chairperson of National Security and Defense and Foreign Relations and the chairperson of Roads. Maybe one, Mr. Speaker, sir, on the status, I would have expected the chair of Roads and Transport, although time caught him up, to tell us, Mr. Speaker, because I remember when I raised this statement, Mr. Speaker, sir, on the issue of Mombasa Road, repair of lower deck of Mombasa Road after building of expressway, Mr. Speaker, sir. So I've heard in the media, and I've seen the media, that the Ministry of Transport, Roads and Infrastructure has indicated, Mr. Speaker, that they want to repair. And Mr. Speaker, you are aware that there is ongoing rains in the country, and when Kenyans who are using lower deck of Mombasa Road or the old Mombasa Road have a lot of inconvenience, Mr. Speaker, because when it rains, the drainage is poor. You remember the road is now has been, is it thin, Mr. Speaker, and therefore I would request that the chairperson of Roads and Transport to give the House timeline on how that lower Mombasa, old Mombasa lower deck underneath the expressway, the timeline that it should be repaired, especially, Mr. Speaker, before the lapse of the rainy season, so that Kenyans are no longer inconvenienced. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, and last, is on the issue of national security, defense and foreign relations, Mr. Speaker. I wondered, I was keenly listening to the chair when I was coming to the chamber, Mr. Speaker, and I really wanted to get to know whether the Ministry of Interior, national government, is in the process of opening more registration centers. One, Mr. Speaker, before in the North Rift and in Kisumu, we used to have immigration centers where Kenyans, especially from the Nandi and the North Rift region, are forced to go all the way to Kisumu to get renewal of visa or get passport when the Eldoret office was closed. And Eldoret office is temporarily functioning. So I really wanted to know whether the Eldoret office will be reopened for the convenience of the people of Nandi, Uasin Gishu, and the North Rift. And finally, Mr. Speaker, you remember birth certificates, especially for parents who are registering their children for Class 8, and death certificate for purposes of succession. And it is good that you are a lawyer and you understand the importance of birth certificate, especially in succession. Where I come from, we only have 2 registration centers. That is in Kapsabet town, that is Mkweny sub-county, and Nandi sub-county. And it serves the entire 6 sub-counties in Nandi. Although one has been opened in Kabia Township in Masab sub-county. So, Speaker, I would have expected the chair to say in the budget that is coming to open more registration centers so that parents can conveniently process their birth certificate and allow them to register their children for KCP and KCSE, and also for processing of death certificates to allow our parents and other Kenyans who want to do succession in terms, not only in Nandi County, Mr. Speaker, but across the country to ensure, and even the improve of border posts like Malaba, like in northern Kenya, Mr. Speaker, and even the issuance of national identity card to allow the conveyance. Because, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, when you go here, Nyayo House, you get Kenyans as far as Garissa, Mandera, only to come for a service that these citizen services should be made a directory, so that a Kenyan should not travel from Mandera, from Kilifi, from Garissa, from Kisumu, from all the way from Malaba, Busia, from Bungoma, Mr. Speaker, from all the way from Lunga to come and just get a service, which they are paying for, Mr. Speaker. So is the chairperson and the Committee on Foreign Relations Defense should be ready to tell us that this border outpost and access to issues like visa, like passport, like death certificate, like birth certificate, Mr. Speaker, be accessible. So, Mr. Speaker, those are my only 3 concerns, and I thank you for your indulgence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The chairpersons, I believe they've taken note of those concerns. The Honorable Senator Fatuma Dulo.